All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. Yeah, we're going to start with the obvious right here. There's two trophies sitting down there because I've entered this car in two shows officially since having it. I've entered it in the Corvette Invasion show, and that bigger trophy is the one I won from Corvette Invasion. I actually got Choice Award at the Corvette Invasion 2024. And then this past weekend, I went to a show in Killeen, Texas. And I made top 30. There was a lot of cars there. Might have been 100, 150, maybe 150 cars. I'm not sure. There was bikes and everything too. So, but I got top 30. I was surprised. I was hoping I would win, but because I've only entered this car in 2 times and I've won a trophy both times. So, I'm excited to be able to win and when I go to car shows, but more importantly, the car, man, I'm really getting some time in the seat, and I just passed 2,000 miles. I passed 2,100 miles recently. And the reason I say it that way is because I didn't think I would put this many miles on this car versus what I did for my other Corvette. I had the other Corvette a lot longer, and I never reached 1,200 miles, I believe. I might have made it to 1,200 miles on the other car. I'm not sure when I sold it. But this particular car, it's a hit, man. It is a hit. Now, let's talk future modifications. So if you don't know, I do have my frunk done. I've had my frunk done for probably the entire time I had this car. Like, the only time I didn't have the frunk done, you didn't see the frunk, is because I didn't show it. Come on, buddy, unlock. There we go. So when I say I have my frunk done, I have a plaque done of my car and the information about my car right there. Yeah, that's been done for quite some time. Now, other customizations to the car, there's really none. I mean, I tinted the windows. That's it. So when it comes to customizations on the car, I'm considering one in particular. Let's get this open here. I'm considering a dress-up kit for this rear area right here. All of this area around here. I'm considering that. That's something that I'm thinking about doing. And then also doing the cover that kind of goes over this area right here. I'm thinking about doing that area right there, that cover. But other than that, man, like, there's really nothing that this car needs per se. I believe that if you buy a car, you can modify it. It's cool to modify it. It's always nice to add things to your car. But I think when you buy a car that I feel is right, it's just the car was done right by the factory. That's a car like this. I think this car was done perfectly fine by the factory. This is a good representation of a car that you just get in it, drive it, and it just works. So, like I said, I went to a car show. A lot of modified cars there, obviously. People modify cars all the time. If you're into modifying cars, I am. But some cars I just don't modify. Now, this car, people are asking me, I get a lot of questions about this car when I take it out. And one question I get is, are those factory wheels? Yeah, that's a question I get, believe it or not, because there's a lot of Corvette owners out there. This car show I went to, I was the only ERay there. I mean, there were tons of Z06s, a lot of Z06s. There were ZR1s there, obviously not the new one, but there were the previous generation ZR1s, a lot of Grand Sports, but the majority of the show had C8 Corvettes, my lineup, and almost all, the majority of the awards went to C8 owners. They didn't have classes, by the way. I thought that was cool that they didn't have classes. So we all fought against each other. Like, we all entered, and if you won, you won. So way more C8s there than any other car, obviously, because it's a popular platform. And so that's something that's just how it is. Right now, the C8 Corvette has taken over. The average age for a Corvette now is no longer 61, it's 57, which means more younger people, obviously younger cats, 20s and 30s, they're buying Corvettes now. So there was a lot of C8s out there, man, ton of them. And they only had top 30. So I was like, man, this is going to be tough because Some of these guys have their cars like highly customized. And as always, when C8 owners see a ERay, they flock to it. And that's pretty much what it was when I got there. I was actually the first one. See, I drove from Austin, so I wanted to make sure I got there on time. And I saw a lot of vets rolling in the same direction, but they didn't go directly to the show. I got a prime parking spot, man. I'm telling you, I got the best parking. I basically got a small area to myself. And did that help? Probably, because they might have thought like, okay, this might be a VIP person or something like that. It wasn't in a shaded area or nothing like that. It was just a spot that was kind of at an angle, like a cul-de-sac. It was kind of like a cul-de-sac. And I got that prime real estate right there. So I posted up and just put my car up, and that's it. And once people realize that it's an ERay, like every show I've been to, now I know there's going to be a ton of ERays that are on the market soon. Like right now, I believe the 24 model is already done. So you can't get a 24 model anymore. So you'll have to get a 25. And a lot of people are probably going to start getting their 25s. But the ERay itself, it is just the Corvette that people are interested in. I mean, I'm talking ZR1 guys, like just fascinated with it. Z06 owners that I meet in person are always fascinated with this car. I mean, I watched a guy do like a whole vlog. I don't know what channel he has. It's a YouTube channel. I didn't ask him. I was going to ask him, but I eventually, I started just walking around myself, filming other people's cars. I filmed the car club that event it was. It's Mid-Tex Corvette in Killeen, Texas. Crazy group of cats, man. I love it. They have some serious cars. They have probably about 75 Corvettes in their club. That is a big number for a car club, just a local car club. That's a big number. That's loyalty right there to the Corvette brand. And they were all nice, man. They were all nice. I don't know all of the members. I know maybe 3 or 4 of the members. I didn't know they were in that club though. I knew one of the members in the club because he said, "Hey, you should come. We're having a show." I just met him. You know what I'm saying? He's a nice cat. Farron, he's a very nice guy. He said, "Hey, we doing some shows." So he didn't pressure me to join the club or anything like that. And it turns out I know 2 or 3 of the other members. So I was like, whoa. I mean, like I know them, like military status know them. And so I didn't know they were in that club because I left Killeen, Texas when I got the military. So nonetheless, awesome show. It was a lot of competition there, man. I mean, it was cars that I've like met. These guys have put in the time, they put in the work, but it still remains that when this car pulls up and people know it's an ERay, they flock to every show I've been to. I've been to just like meet and greets, but car shows, even when I go to a meet and greet, it's a flock around the car because they just have never seen one in person and they are genuinely excited. And I'm still excited. You know what I mean? I'm excited that they're excited. It makes me like it even more. So with that said, every type of car owner was they see this car and they're just like, man, this is sick. Some people just stayed around the car for at least 20, 30 minutes, man, just talking and filming. And I'm sure they were posting it on their channel if they had a channel or whatever they was doing. But the reality is, this is the Corvette right now, man. I know the Z06 is an icon. It's a beautiful car. But I've learned after meeting a lot of Z06 owners, they love their flat plane crank. And then a lot of previous generation owners of Z06s, they love that supercharger. But they're like, man, this thing is it's just crazy. To see it in person, they're awed by it. And you know what? I'm still awed by it. And I own it. I own the car and I'm still in awe of it. So I think if you're a person who wants one of the newer generation Corvettes, I mean, I had a guy, he was picking apart everything, man. He was like, man, the brakes, he was just so excited about everything on the car. And I was just like, man, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you because this is an experience to own. And he was just like, man, this thing is crazy. I took the top off at the show, put it in the back, and I let all the little children, I let them get in it. When I go to shows and it's children there, I just let them do what they want to do in the car. They can start it if they want to. They can sit in the driver's seat, take photos. That's pretty much an exciting part for me, letting other people experience it, something that they just won't experience, and it's not just the children, but adults. Some adults, I let them get in it and start it up. It's a car show. It's no point in having something if you're not going to share it with the world to a certain extent. I'm not going to just say, here go my keys, you can just take off and drive. But if you own a nice car, let's swap. You know what I'm saying? Let's test each other's stuff out, see what you like. But yeah, I had a guy. He was just all on it, man. He knows a lot about this car. He looked up on it and he researched it. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't own one. He still owns a different Corvette, and he was just so intrigued. It just keeps me excited as an owner. And I know, like I was gonna say, I know the hype for this car probably will die down, but I'm just happy to even own one, and own one of the first generations. Normally, I'm not excited about a first gen car, but this is ultimately a car that we've been seeing roll around, pieced together, and then with a big addition of the electric front end. This is an electrified C8 Stingray with all the appeal of the Z06 and even more. A bunch of Z06 options with a Stingray engine and an electrified front end. I mean, the wide body kit, everything down to this car is just sick to me. So I appreciate when I take it out and there's a lot of love to it. There's some people, it's not all love. There's some people respectfully, they'll be like, I just can't get with the electric motor thing. I just don't like it. I don't like electric cars. And they start calling it a hybrid. And I'm like, do a little bit of research. It's not technically a hybrid because they don't talk to each other. That's something that a lot of people do say. They say, hey, this is a hybrid Corvette. And I'm like, well, not really, because the front end doesn't talk to the rear end. You know what I'm saying? It's done through the computer. And so it's a you just have to do your research on the ERay, and then you can learn a lot, just like I did. I did a lot of research on the ERay in the long time I was waiting to get one. So I'm excited to win trophies and stuff like that. The car is definitely a mouthpiece. A lot of people still, folks, say, man, I never thought I would ever see one of these in person. I'm like, wow. But if you're in Killeen, a lot of the guys in Killeen saw this car well before I did. There were some people say, oh, no, it was sitting there for a week. Oh, no, it was there for 2 weeks. They was getting into it. I was like, it doesn't really matter. I got it now. It's parked at my house. But they were saying this specific car itself was marked up about 20 grand. But I didn't pay that. I paid the MSRP. So they were like, what? You got MSRP? I was like, yeah. And he was just like, man, it's been sitting there for a week. I want to sell it, but hey, I got it at MSRP. So I'm happy about that. A lot of people are getting these cars at MSRP now, and some people are still paying over. So like people before me, a lot of people I saw before me, they paid at least 20 over. And I'm like, I just can't see it happening. I'm just not giving that much money over for a car just to get it. So that's just my style, though. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, I had fun at the car show. I just want to give you an update on the car. Got 2,100 miles on it now. I am loving this thing. Every time I pull it out, it's still, to me, it's just a Corvette. But there's so many people that see it and they say, man, they're just in awe of it. And I get to see it whenever I want to. I get to drive it whenever I want to. And I'm in awe, but not like other people who have never seen it before. Like, so if I see cars that I like that I've never seen before, that's about how I am. I'm just in shock that I'm actually seeing it. But, it is what it is. The ERay is the car to get right now. This is the Corvette that a lot of people are excited about. They're just not online talking about it. They're not in forums. So that's a lot of those guys. They was like, nah, I'm not in the forums. And these are hardcore Corvette guys. They say, I just don't mess with the forums because it's just a lot of nonsense in there. And I was like, I agree. There's a ton of nonsense in the Corvette forum, and it's not everyone, but it's just that few group of people who just are reckless at the mouth and the keyboard, and it's a turnoff. So I just kind of quietly creep around in the forums, try not to talk too much in there, because you're going to run across these clowns that they're just running off at the mouth, and that's all they're doing. So in person, though, I've met so many nice Z06 owners and a ton of Stingray owners. Corvette owners in general, they're loving this car just as much as I do, and they don't even own it. They've never driven it. They just are excited to sit in it. They like, the interior is the same as mine. I'm like, yeah, same interior and everything. But yeah, overall, the ERay has been a hit at every show. Every time I pull it out, it's a hit. If I'm just driving, people are waving me down. It happens. And I could be the color, because I haven't had a black car in a long time. And then this car isn't black, it's carbon flash metallic. So when they think that I did something to the car, I'm like, no, that's just a color that was offered for the 2024 year. And it was also offered in 2023 as well. But yeah, I haven't done anything to this car but tint the windows physically on the outside, just tinted the windows. That's it. And I really don't plan on lowering it at all. I could lower it. I can lower the back myself, but I have to get the columns for the front. And I can drop it down 1 inch if I want to, but I just like it as it sits, man. I have the front lift on here, and I just riding low. This car is already low to the ground already, and I don't want to lower it anymore. At least not right now. From where I'm at in my life with this car, I don't want to lower it. So it's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Follow up on the Corvette, 2,100 miles. Car shows down, winning some trophies, won at every show I've taken and entered in officially. And I'm just happy to have fun with the car and watch other people enjoy the car too with me. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.